So my name is Georgeous Michael. I live in Bethnal Green. I am 30 years old. I turned 30 a month ago. It was a very exciting moment. I am a drag king. Started drag in May 2016. Honestly, I really just did it just for fun. Just for a laugh, just for a giggle. I've been watching drag for a long time. So I've been going to drag shows in London, drag king shows, which there's been more of, as many. I think it's been on my radar for a really long time, and I've been avidly watching and being an avid fan of various drag scenes and drag performers. Not that I have a background in performance, or I don't really have a background in doing anything of that nature at all. You know, when you just are called to something and you're like, I think that would be fun. And I think I've got some ideas about how that could be. So just watching really inspired me to perform. The name Georgeous Michael was something that I came up with. I'm going to do a George Michael inspired act and I need a name. So Georgeous Michael was born, and then I did it, and I thought, as one does, oh, that will just be a one-time thing, that I can cross that off my list. Then when you do it, you realise that it's really addictive. Doing drag, and I was sort of getting into it and just kind of doing a few shows. Then it really took off after that, because people had an appetite for seeing George Michael inspired performances. People had higher expectations of the drag. People had higher expectations of Georgeous Michael, and I had higher expectations of myself almost. Before, it was sort of just a lark, and it was kind of fun, and I was just doing this impersonation of this character that everyone loves. People have so much attachment to him. You know, people will come up to me after gigs and say, George Michael saved my life, you know, that album, Older, I listened to it when I lost my father, or, you know, people have stories about his music and attachments to his music and attachments to him, or the fact that he came out was really influential to a lot of people. In a way, it became a lot more serious. People want to see a fitting tribute. So in a way, it kind of really raised the game of my drag. So I made a boiled egg with soldiers with a very basic bread. Kind of unusually for bread, it has quite a lot of ingredients. So it's got flour and yeast, obviously, but it also has eggs and sugar and salt, because that just gives it a bit of a naughtiness that I quite enjoy. Well, I like this dish because it feels like real comfort food, and I think it reminds me of home and growing up and the kind of dish that you had on a Sunday morning. It reminds me of my dad, who used to make boiled eggs for me. It's a nice kind of straightforward basic dish. So I started making breads as a way of procrastinating. I wish that I baked more, to be honest. I've really fallen out of the habit of it. And I think that's because of having a 9-to-5 job, and then doing drag on top of that, and then doing Fringe as well, which is the queer film and arts festival that I also volunteer and help to run. And baking was just a really nice way to get away from the computer and to do something else, and to focus on something that just really was not intellectual. It was much more physical in a way. Breads keep you warm. Like, making them actually warms the body, and it's a way of using. It's quite physical, so it's quite a nice way to use the body. You know, that isn't like actual exercise, but it's you know, a nice way to just do something different that isn't being sat at the laptop. So I've been using my body as a way of performing. It has made performance, I feel much more empowered through performance, because I've been able to step outside of myself almost and realise that I can create a certain type of illusion, and that has therefore made me feel more confident in the other types of illusion that I want to create, because I feel like gender is not an illusion, but it's a performance. Recognising that you feel more empowered to make those gendered performances means that you can be more playful in your everyday life, basically. Whereas as before, I felt a little bit more caged, a little bit more like there were certain ways that I needed to be, or certain ways that I needed to carry myself. But in doing drag and learning about gender as a performance and being able to harness that as a power almost, it's made me feel like I can take that back. I think being surrounded by positive people. I'm not someone who subscribes to people need to be positive and happy all the time, and just I'm around a lot of depression a lot of the time, and that can still be quite nourishing in the sense that it's a real intimate emotion and experience that you're sharing with someone. One of the big changes for me in my life has definitely been around finding really solid friends who have just been really supportive of the different ways that you can be rather than what they want you to be. Something that I wish I'd done sooner is get a cat, adopt a cat, because we adopted our cat last year, and it's just actually has changed my life in a really profound way, in the sense of I think there's something incredible incredible about just sharing your life with another species and just like taking care and allowing that other non-human entity share with you like the wonderful joys that it has to bring and offer solidarity across species, basically. So get a cat.